Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here and we are live with another exciting week of Rocket League coming hot at you. An FBI Tugboat man with me is Hot Sauce, once again back in the booth, back from across the pond over here. Hot Sauce, how you feeling?
Hey, feeling great. A little tired from the trip from Paris. It was a long flight, but honestly, just excited to be back in the booth showcasing all the wonderful talent that we've got over here at WSSEA. We got a great best of 5 in Rocket League here today, and two teams we're no strangers of. We've seen these two teams clash many of times, so I'm sure we're in for another very exciting matchup here tonight.
Oh yes, another edition WSSEA action. This one's going to be just as good as the previous and better than the next. Isn't that what they say? I want to go ahead and give a shout out to one of the organizations that make broadcasts like this one possible, and that is Zotac. Hey everyone, we want to give a huge shout out to Zotac Gaming for powering today's stream. Thanks to their incredible support, we're able to bring this broadcast to all of you, helping to showcase some of the amazing talent that exists within Scholastic Esports. You can show your appreciation for Zotac Gaming by giving them a shout out over there on your various social medias, and make sure to join their community on Discord. And don't forget to use the hashtag powered by Zotac or hashtag ZotacUSA when and if you do post. Hot Sauce, Lake Stevens Purple, these Vikings coming forth to do battle with the Kennedy Catholic Lancers. I'm 110% here for it. There's a little bit of story between these two teams.
Yeah, you and I got to talk about it a little bit before we got going. In that regular season last year, Lake Stevens able to get the better of Kennedy Catholic in a Game 5 victory. It wasn't until late in the playoffs that Kennedy Catholic gave them a taste of their own medicine in Game 5, were able to beat them away. Ended up in second, whereas Lake Stevens got third. Both of these teams are incredibly hungry for that first place this year, but we still got a little bit of the regular season to get through.
It's very true. Very true. Speaking of that regular season, two teams coming in pretty similar finishing lines. I mean, Kennedy Catholic has not recorded a loss up to this point. Lake Stevens did record an L, but that was rather early. We got a couple of notes here from some of the coaching staff. Speaking of, big shout out to Mr. Wood, coaching staff here for Lake Stevens, and shout out to Coach it's either Breshok or Breshok. I'm not 100% sure about the pronunciation. I'm sorry if I'm getting that one wrong. That is the Kennedy Catholic coach, Coach Breshok. This is a note coming in from here saying that, like, this is kind of that coach speak here, Hot Sauce, right? They had a poorly staffed squad. What that tells me is there were some subs playing for that Lake Stevens squad for their early season L.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough. I mean, both of these teams have deep rosters, but when you're throwing in a little bit of a mix-up, especially against a tough team, it can be difficult to navigate that sometimes. So you take a loss early, no harm, no foul. You got plenty of time left in the season. We had another fun fact in there as well. Both of these coaches are WSSEA board members as well. So we've got a little bit of a high-profile matchup here that maybe a little extra bragging rights in the background.
Oh, absolutely. Next board meeting or however those go might have a little bit extra in between these two. Again, shout out Mr. Wood and Coach Breshok again. Hope I'm saying that right. Let's hop on into this one, a best of five starting off in just a little bit. A little bit more background here for Kennedy Catholic. Ryrox and Jeffy, they started their Rocket League high school season with this squad freshman year and now seniors still getting it done.
Hey, love to see it, helping the young talent grow along the way as well to, maybe make that stepping stone for the next generation to come up. But Goat Lotion is going to waste no time before slipping that one into the net. And Kennedy Catholic off to a phenomenal start here in just the first 12 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be Goat Lotion and Tacky on the two players on the Kennedy Catholic active rosters that we have. The list here that we didn't talk about going forward to combo for the first goal of about 15 seconds in, really. Go Lotion coming in from the ceiling, just kind of lost handles of this one. Lake Stevens should have an opportunity at possession right here as long as they don't leave this net open across the middle.
Yeah, some early back and forth here as we look to settle down off in that first game, the feeler game. Just trying to get a feel out for the opponents and maybe what kind of strategy they'll be running here. But it seems a high-paced action from both of these squads. Love this aggression, and now Goat Lotion looking for something in the middle. The pass is there, and it's Jeffy, the senior star, to come up with another big goal here for Kennedy Catholic.
Big goal, big man on campus. Maybe some collegiate Rocket League in this young person's future. Who knows? Jeffy, the nice slice, bottom left. Slotted pretty well as well. Not much of a defensive chance for that from Lake Stevens. 2-0, and that's 2-0 early, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, which is, a great thing for Kennedy Catholic, but also it's not a bad thing for Lake Stevens. It means there's plenty of time in this game for them to battle back here and maybe need to consider some bumps or some demos on some of these star players to slow down some of this pressure here from Kennedy Catholic. But already through the sky is Tacky on across midfield. This one touched away. Jeffy, last defender in the backfield. No boost in the tank, but still finds the clear here at a bare minimum.
Maybe more than just a bear to deal with. That's centered decently, but Kennedy Catholic, uncharacteristic there, Hot Sauce. They kind of wait to collapse on into this one, and the opportunity going to go by the wayside. Solid takeaway here from Dark Mars and the rest of Lake Stevens, but Kennedy Catholic has been playing in the center of this field really, really well. Pop play up and over. That is not going the right way if you're Kennedy Catholic and you're trying to store.
Well, they'll be stopped here for the 50. The demo comes in as well, and a big step up from Lake Stevens. That was another dangerous position to be in, but they were able to thwart it away. Still not out of that safety net just yet, though. Kennedy Catholic is relentless, shot after shot of the GOAT. The GOAT Lotion himself will tuck another one. Now Kennedy Catholic up by 3.
Yeah, and so this kind of comes off the back of a Lake Stevens double commit. And when I say double commit, I don't necessarily mean onto ball. Obviously, one player did dedicate, but this was not a ball that was hit way up in the air and made harder to play from Kennedy Catholic. Other player cuts on the way over toward corner boost. Going to leave this net wide open, unfortunately. Going to come up to this one, Aggro Fusion. That's a great job negating that offensive opportunity. And Breshok, thank you, Hot Sauce. I appreciate you.
We should thank chat. I saw it in chat, so I was not trying to steal anybody else's thunder. Big shout out to Match out there. Appreciate you for keeping us up to date. But almost halfway through this one, we have seen things slow down a little bit from the opening moments, but a caster curse or a caster blessing, I'm not sure. Kennedy Catholic able to take advantage of here, though, up by 4 now.
That's a great point. Great point. Goat, Lotion, Tachyon, neither of them, or one of them got it. Doesn't really matter because both of them had an awesome opportunity upon that one. And now a 4-score differential. Not even halfway into this game. I got to say, color me surprised, Hot Sauce, with the storied background between these two teams. Like, yes, I get that what we were talking about Ryrox in the pre-show, right? Excuse me. And Ryrox isn't playing as of right now. That's another really experienced senior. I got to say, I did not anticipate, like, if you told me one of these teams, or if this series wasn't going to go to a Game 5, like, yeah, all right. But 4-0, and like barely halftime, would not have anticipated.
Yeah, it's especially with both of these teams going to a Game 5. But, I often think about how sometimes those Game 1s can be really tough. And the amount of times we've seen some 6-0s one way, and then the team is able to come back in game number 2. So I'll still be keeping my eye on game number 2 to really see how it plays out. But again, I mean, at 2 minutes, there's still plenty of time for Lake Stevens. 20 to 30 seconds, all you really need to find a goal. The unfortunate thing is they really can't afford to give up another goal here in this one if they want to give themselves a best shot of coming back here in game 1.
Yeah, a middling shot right there, and that's forcing the hands of the defender. And this is always what we talk about at this point, especially at this scoreline. You're looking at a situation where, like, your main real enemy, not necessarily draped in blue, but just going to be made of, made of those grains of sand in the hourglass, right? Made of time. Because it's really, I mean, what is that, 20 seconds to score, allow 0, and that's just a tie. This is a brutal game number 1 for Lake Stevens.
Yeah, time slowly dwindling away, but you can't let it affect the mental. You have to keep, going. You got to buckle down here. So for Lake Stevens, I think the important thing is, even if you suffer a loss here, let's try to find at least a goal. Let's get on the board near the end of this one. Let's look to get into our own little stride so that we can get prepped and ready to come out swinging in game number 2.
Yeah, it's a fantastic point. Now, I'm not saying, and I don't think you are either, Hot Sauce, to like give this one up by any means. Still try and find one, a little something for the doggy bag to feel a little bit better about coming out of this one. 2-0 is the start of something that doesn't feel great. 3-0, but especially 4-0, is not exactly great for the momentum that goes on between the years. That mental momentum, really, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I kind of think back to something you always say. It doesn't matter if you win by 10 or win by 1, a win, a loss, a loss. So, if you are Lake Stevens here, you suffer this loss. You find a goal late in the game like we were asking for. But, even if you suffer this loss, you say, hey, we're certainly capable of doing the same thing. And so you hope that they can come out with just the same amount of aggressiveness, maybe find a 4-1, a 4-2 win themselves in game number 2. And like we said, I think it starts off of the back of finding a goal late here in this one. So they've already got that side quest completed. Now they just got to look to get that main quest done in game number 2.
Hey, that was almost the second one. And again, real hard, like technically enough time to come back, blah, blah, blah. But still would have felt really darn good. At this point, this game is over. This game number 1, is over. Best of 5 series, and it's a longer one. But 4-1, again, I'd hate to sound like a broken record here, but did not necessarily anticipate this opening score. What I definitely want to anticipate is Lake Stevens lying down and just going quietly out of this series. Take a look at the numbers here. Most surprising. I mean, saves basically the same. The most surprising is just the massive difference. What is that, 9-4? Over there, so it's like a short daytime job.
Yeah, just not quite that full 8 hours, right? But yeah, I mean, Kennedy Catholic just peppering in shot after shot, and it's one of those things where when you are that relentless firing squad, it's only a matter of time before you find the back of the net. So Lake Stevens needs to find a way to nullify that early. You'd love to see him get on the board early as well, but they are already playing from that defensive zone.
Yeah, and this is exactly how Kennedy Catholic started off the previous game as well. A lot of pressure, respecting rotations, and taking this ball, and even when it is decently cleared out to the mid or whatever, they're always just lurking there, picking up side boosts, denying that boost resource to the other squad. I mean, look at this right now. See, Lake Stevens, I'm not looking at a single Lake Stevens player until Agrifusion came back, actually got back on their own side of the pitch, Hot Sauce, that they had more than 12 or 24 boosts. You just can't get a whole lot of offense done with that little amount of boost. But as I say that, It's just a little bit too high.
Oh, a nice pass play here. Goat Lotion tries to take advantage of, and now we're seeing some early attacks here from Kennedy Catholic, trying to apply that pressure to Lake Stevens yet again. Tachyon through the sky, a chip shot above and to the right. No help comes in just yet, but now from the background, there's a shot. Not a ton of mustard, but again, it's shot after shot here for Kennedy Catholic. Lake Stevens needs to find a clear.
Quality opportunities. It frequently seems like what a winning team is going to come out on the other side of. How this comes off is going to be paramount. Oh, my goodness. Crossbar and out, but the follow-up is there. Jeffy, Kennedy Catholic wouldn't be denied on their first. This one's going to happen way after it happened in game number 1, though, Hot Sauce.
Yeah, defense for Lake Stevens much, much better here, as well as, we've seen Lake Stevens downfield getting some shots on target early here. They had a couple of attempts. One was close. It didn't quite go their way. So I think we've seen great improvement from game 1 to game 2. And this is that Lake Stevens team that we're used to seeing. But now they have to do it for a full 5 minutes. And you really can't afford any minor mistakes against a team like Kennedy Catholic.
2-0 is the beginning of, the beginning of something bad when it talks about, last minute comebacks or so. Still anybody's game 100%. So we always say, whatever the score is at halftime can be undone in that second half. A second half that is usually marked by much slower progression. Kind of comes out to it. It was a fantastic fake, but I think they actually did get a corner onto that, so Jeffy has nothing for it. Tachyon with the follow-up, though. Jeffy again to the corner. No boost to follow this one up. That's perfectly slotted. And Kennedy Catholic goes up by multiple scores in the first half again.
I mean, it goes down to these basic fundamentals here. These rotations from Kennedy Catholic are almost perfect. And again, we see Jeffy going up for the ball. He finds a touch, maybe not the one that he wanted, but was out of boost. Circles off the teammate, calling him off in from behind, and just capitalizing on a near open net. It was a crazy shot that was barred down, but the defense just not able to get there in time. So it's been a close game. It's still a close game, not quite through the halfway point. But again, I'd love to see Lake Stevens find a goal here before Kennedy Catholic gets that third.
I'd love to see that one as well, and this is what I was looking at. It didn't mean to interrupt you, but this is a Lake Stevens squad. They've been getting the clears out, but every time they put it out, there's no follow up. They're just getting the momentum behind the ball, right? And that's the other thing. Individual efforts, right? Get this ball out and try and get to a teammate. If you can't, run this ball down the middle and see what you can do. Kennedy Catholic has not been tested on defense.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a ton of shot opportunities. We saw it in game number 1, a little more here early in game 2, but now it's starting to kind of fall back to where we were. We see Dark off the ceiling. It's a bouncer that almost finds it, and there's that second chance opportunity. It's Aggro Fusion to knock it in. They'll get within 1, and now with 2 minutes left, Lake Stevens an opportunity to find the equalizer.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Dark Mars, credit here for the save. It is a classic 2-minute drill. Down by 1, what do you do? Both teams send 1. Lake Stevens had an opportunity. It's a 1-on-1 the backside, but Goat Lotion is not going to get this one slipped past the goalie.
Lake Stevens able to step up when they need to, holding on here, trying to find that tied game here, and tried to give them ourselves an opportunity to win it in regulation. Looking to tie the series up, but it's Kennedy Catholic once again trying to control the pace. Tucked to the corner, looking for a cross. This one is there, but a bit too much mustard. But Lake Stevens still searching for that clear, and it looks like they're finally going to get it here.
Stretching the field, this Kennedy Catholic squad is as well, and that, by all rights, maybe should have gone in. Oof. Another block, another corner hit. This one's saved for the time being. Dark Marks comes back for net and for boost. Good challenge. Go Lotion's going to lose this one for the time being, and that's how you transport a ball from one side of the pitch to the other.
Great challenge by Aggro, who had no boost in the tank. Lake Stevens, most of them were dangerously low on boost after all of those shot attempts, but they find that clear. Back and forth we go. Now at midfield, Jeffy tries to scoop this one up. The pass, the shot there as well. It was a nice one that was on target, but Nitro reads this one well, finds the clear, but unfortunately, they're not getting much in transition through these clears. It's just a lot of change of possessions here, so need to try to get some solid passes downfield as well.
There's the beginning of it, at least attacking empty space. Lake Stevens kind of seems like they realize the mild errors, just like that tiny little edge that can make their clears and that defensive transition, from defense into offense, just a little bit better here, Hot Sauce. It's not exactly what happened on this pass, but like I said, they've been attacking empty space and just simply putting this ball where the enemy is not. Still down by 1, though. That's really, really going to start to matter. Left a player back, Kennedy Catholic did. Maybe the beginning of something beautiful here. That's a weak clear. Couple of opportunities. Down low! Oh, Dark Marsh almost seals the deal for overtime. Not gonna happen. Kennedy Catholic takes it on a scoreline that I hope you can agree with me, Hot Sauce, is a little bit more of an expected ending scoreline, 2-1.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of waiting for game 2 to see exactly how it was going to play out. But Kennedy Catholic, they come away unscathed. It was a very close one. Lake Stevens almost tying it up in those final moments. And I mean, that's what we're used to seeing from these two teams, these game 5s, these overtimes, these games that are only separated by a goal. But now Lake Stevens, all the pressure on their shoulders. It's do or die, win or go home. And Goat Lotion in the first 6 seconds finds a goal here in game 3.
Yeah, so this is a mild communications breakdown. Yes, a Lake Stevens player had a shot at this one. I believe that was nitrogen, excuse me, not 100% sure. One player is trying to assume the middle position after they pick up boost to try and get in that offensive side. The other one is just picking up boost. Nobody is home, and this is a similar situation for Lake Stevens. Game 3 now, big difference is this is an elimination game. Goat Lotion, it's more methodical block.
It's a nice shot from Dark from a distance there, but Kennedy Catholic, they have been near flawless on both sides of the pitch here today, and it really has shown in their favor. Jeffy, the senior star, now through the sky, looks to waterfall this one down and up through. Here goes Goat Lotion, a bit to the right, though. Maybe a funky touch on the car, but, I mean, these rotations, the passing plays, everything just seems to be on point here for Kennedy Catholic tonight.
Gotta agree with you. Now they're just completely crowding this one side. Nobody shoots in for this one. Well, that's how the ball goes the other side of the pitch. Agro Fusion gets challenged by Jeffy. Jeffy's going to win the 50. Send it out to the corner. Teammate has a shot opportunity. I think that Dark Marsh was thinking this was stretched just perfectly to like the bottom right-hand side there, Hot Sauce. Really wanted to get to it. It was a great decision.
Well, they continue to duke it out. This time, Lake Stevens has a little bit of pressure down here in Kennedy Catholic territory, but only for a moment, and the moment's gone. Back and forth we go. Some pong action here late into the mid of game number 3, but we still haven't seen Lake Stevens get on the board in game 3, and so far they've only been able to score a goal in each game. I'd like to see them get more than one on the board, and hopefully before that 1 minute mark rolls around.
Yeah, and like no sounding of the fire alarms yet, of course, but game 3 situation down 2-0. It's a fantastic. I mean, again, I can't help but think about that game number 1 where all hope kind of seemed lost past that 2 minute mark or so. Still fighting and plenty of opportunity. Lake Stevens comes up to it. That's a dangerous ball, but man, you just have to collapse a little bit more on here. And maybe it's the fact, so they're leaving 2 back. That's really what it is, right? You really just need to split this a little bit more across the middle and have one more dedicated defensive player, but this was just a small defensive error. This was going in.
Yeah, we see no boost in the tank for the 2 members trying to get back. Nitro expending all of the boost to go up for that one, but not able to get there in time. And boost management, I mean, an equally as important aspect of the game here. You don't always need those hundreds. Sometimes the pathing for those nickels and dimes can be just enough to get you where you need to be. But Kennedy Catholic now enjoying that 2-point lead. We're not quite halfway through. Lake Stevens still time to pick it up, but they've really got to buckle in here now.
Maybe a little bit of something. Dark Marsh reads this very, very well. Sends it way out and gives the follow-up on the second one. And hits a defender on the way inside. Agro Fusion against the backboard. And once again, it's set up for a player that's never there.
Yeah, just not able to get there in time. And I feel like the speed, the pacing of Kennedy Catholic has just been slightly faster here tonight. And again, maybe just some unfortunate events for Lake Stevens as well. We've seen a couple close ones in front of the net. They just haven't been able to capitalize on here. 2 minutes on the clock, still fighting with their backs against the wall. Lake Stevens looking to make something happen down the field. Some boost in the tank, one extra touch, but the defense not finding the touch. Right in front of the net, and this is what we need. Agro Fusion will find it and secure goal number 1.
Yeah, Goat Lotion just needed a little bit of a better defensive clear, and honestly, really just keeping this ball like aloft a little bit more. It's so much harder, and well, I mean, really coming from the bottom, obviously, with the momentum, impossible to get a low, slow, non-bouncing roller like that. Hot Sauce back within 1. A little bit of life here for Lake Stevens.
Well, sweep is pretty tough to do. A reverse sweep even harder, but that's what's in front of Lake Stevens. at the moment. We see some late game demos here and maybe getting down to the nitty gritty as they continue to duke it out. But Lake Stevens has been doing a good job of applying more pressure. Goat through the sky, though, sneaks this one by. Jeffy, the secondary touch, and maybe that was what gave Lake Stevens enough time to find the save here.
Yeah, it was a great utilization of that time. Jeffy that's a dangerous move, my friend. This ball does not go exactly where they thought they needed it, or thought this was kind of trajectory was going to. Kind of hang out in the air. I get the idea, kind of like that hanging like brick wall impersonation, right? But when you get the trajectory off, any hoodles. No harm, no foul. A little bit more offensive pressure from Kennedy Catholic, and it's the double tap for 2-goal pad.
Yeah, maybe not the final nail in a coffin, but certainly an additional one. And this clear, it's a tough one. You don't get it out to the side. There's not enough power to either clear it out or to tuck it into the corner. And so it's left kind of in front of the net. Kennedy Catholic coming in with that boost, able to power through the defense and find that 2-point cushion once more. Aggro on an early attack here, though, will be thwarted away once more. Kennedy Catholic has done a great job of spreading the field and finding these clears here tonight.
45 seconds. It's going to have to be that continued excellence, as well as flipping the field and just getting yourself and your team some offensive opportunities here for Lake Stevens. Every time this ball is hit aloft and every time it travels back to a corner of Lake Stevens, you're talking about 5, 6, 7 seconds or so off of this clock. A low roller again. That's how it happened last time. Keeps it alive. Nah, this is out to the corner. 20 seconds to go. It's do or die time for Lake Stevens.
Yeah, and if we could have seen plays like this all game long, they very well could have taken some games away, but it's just been a little bit hit or miss throughout the entirety of the 3 games here. And Kennedy Catholic, a 2-point cushion, 4 seconds on the clock. They'll be able to eat up more time, and with that, we'll be able to secure the sweep here in 3-0 fashion. Nitro maybe looking for something at the end of the game here, but hey, Lake Stevens potentially setting themselves up for, an opposite mirror action from the previous season. Kennedy Catholic was able to beat Lake Stevens in the regular season. Lake Stevens was able to beat Kennedy Catholic, in the regular season where they swapped in the playoffs and Kennedy Catholic got the better. So Kennedy Catholic wins here in the regular season. Will Lake Stevens be able to bounce back in those playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, because we always talk about using the past to predict the future and whatnot. We're already looking here in 2025 in the fall semester as a complete flipping of all the facts we have established thus far between these two teams. But a fantastic series. I honestly just kind of wish it would have gone a little bit longer here. 1-score difference, 2-score difference, 3-score difference. We really did run the gamut as far as a sweep and how close it could have been, right? Like, one goal obviously in game number 2 we go to overtime, right? This previous one there were plenty of opportunity for Lake Stevens and just them turning it on a little bit late. Hot sauce. I'd hate to sound like too negative about a squad that did just get swept, but I mean, you said it. I want to see more of that Lake Stevens offense in the last 45 seconds or so of that best of 5 series stretched across the rest of the series, man. I'm just saying so,
Yeah, and it's a tough one. We talk about it. Kennedy Catholic has 2 shining stars that are seniors, even only one playing here tonight, and Goat Lotion Tachyon, 2 great additions that the coach had talked about. And so, I think they, from 4-0 to 5-0, they continue this undefeated streak here and maybe a team to look out for. They were second last year. They talked about how hungry they are for that first place finish, and they're certainly making a great statement to do so. So a little bit of bragging rights there for Coach Brayshock, maybe at the next board member meeting. But I do want to give a quick moment to shout out our other sponsor here on the night of LandFast. This broadcast is part of LandFest's Scholastic Esports program, a program that supports this league and many others. And since launching, LandFest has delivered over 300 broadcasts, to Scholastic leagues in both Washington and Indiana State. We provide these broadcasts free of charge to the leagues, the schools, and the teams we cover with your generous donations that make it all possible. So every $200 raised covers the operating costs for an entire regular season broadcast. If you appreciate our work and are able to help out, please scan that QR code on screen and donate today.
Yeah, fantastic organization LandFest is. Just working to continue to provide support for Scholastic Esports. I'm all the way here for it. I also want to give a shout out, yes, Connie, she's the GOAT. Taylor, absolutely killing it. And was absolutely on one today as well in the pre-show. But we always appreciate them. And Connie, Taylor, everything they do to help us bring this broadcast to all of you and honestly just make Hot Sauce and I's jobs as commentators just a little bit easier. Yeah, that's going to be about it for me. If you liked what you heard, folks, bang, there it is, @_hot sauce_ at FBI_tugboat. That's going to be about it for me, Hot Sauce. Do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu? I think, yes, Valorant. I almost missed it. Sorry. Valorant, that's tomorrow, 11:05 at 11:05 the date, 4 p.m. Pacific time. There's the Prairie versus the Camas. Now, my dear friend Hot Sauce, do you have anything else for the good people?
No, just again, a big thank you to everybody behind the scenes, to all the competitors, the coaches, and everybody hanging out with us in chat, showing up and showing their support. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you hit that follow button so you don't miss out on the action like the game that we've got tomorrow that Tugboat had mentioned. So we hope to see you back here at the same time. But as always, that's Tugboat. My name's Hot Sauce. You guys have been beautiful. Take care and enjoy the rest of your evening.